Well, CBD oil is simply everywhere, from online to storefronts right here in San Antonio, promising relief and even improvements in your life. But many people have questions about how this product could be legal here in Texas. Eyewitness News reporter Aaron Wright joins us now with the story of one San Antonio business wading into these new legal waters. Aaron?
Jeff, that's exactly right. CBD oil comes from hemp, but it's often confused with THC, which produces the high in marijuana. The laws around CBD, they're just as confusing. Almost everyone at CBD Shaman has a story.
After I saw the incredible things that it did, I was so vested that I wanted to share it.
People here share how the product has helped them or someone close to them. Retailers say the oil derived from hemp plants can give relief to pain, inflammation, and anxiety. The products here are trace amounts of CBD oil.
You don't have to get high to get help.
We put in calls to local law enforcement agencies about the legality of CBD. Balcones Heights police say the store is following the law. Police and civic leaders even attended their grand opening. Recently, the DEA has reclassified some CBD products. Currently, only one product on the market meets FDA requirements. Right now, the store and many other companies are hoping for increased protections. Hemp Bill 267 would add on the country's farm bill and treat hemp just like any other crop.
You can get crop insurance, it'll be no different.
For users today, it's a blessing.
I was in an accident 13 years ago and I broke my back, and it was getting to the point where I couldn't sit and watch a movie, cry, because it has changed my life. It really has.
Now, very few law enforcement agencies want to talk about this product, so users are encouraged to practice and proceed with caution before making a purchase. Aaron Wright, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.